Hey gang, Kevin here, May 11th, 2026 with a weather and wheat update primarily. We'll talk a little bit about the row crops, not a whole lot. Adjusted here. Off center. So tomorrow we've got the first look USDA report, May WASDE. First look of the 2026 crop. It'll give all the estimates for this upcoming crop year, including corn yield, soybean yield, acreage, and all the thing I probably watched the closest is all the different exporters, what they were going to have. Getting a big rally today led by wheat. It's got a host of things causing that. What a little suspicious about it, last year I was fairly optimistic we'd see some decent numbers on the May WASDE because on the first look, just because the acreage was down so much and they didn't have the planting incentive to boom production. And I knew acreage was down in a host of exporting nations, and they just came out guns blaring. And plus we had some very unfavorable weather in China. They were extremely dry most of the crop season. Let's go, dog. Sorry, dogs are getting off course. And so my thought was, it's not going to be that bad a report. We're still going to be around that 800 million metric ton mark. We're not going to be above that. And I expected demand to be quite a bit above 800 because we've been stuck below 800 or between 780 and 800 for about the last 6 or 7 years. So historically, when that happens, you get a big move in demand, and we were right for that. So what USDA did last year just felt blatant. I think that was the word I used, was just blatant. I don't remember what their original production number was. It was like 825, or this is going off. It's just guessing what. That's about what they were at. And let's go, dogs. And that was just incredibly. It's just. The numbers were just so massively inflated compared to what I thought was possible. So. And I think in the end, yes, some of the crops were bigger than I anticipated. But I think I was also correct on some of the other ones being well under what USDA is projecting. So that brings us to tomorrow. I would expect that same level of blatancy. I think they're going to come out despite the problems in the southern plains. We all know, everybody knows that the hard red crop is going to come in, especially after this next heat wave and then the last couple of freezes. It's going to be, a half a crop. There's just no way. Oklahoma Wheat League already presented their opinion that it was going to be a half a crop. I think Texas is going to be the same. I think Kansas is going to be the same, if not worse. Nebraska's certainly a train wreck. And we're even hearing problems out of South Dakota now. So that whole hard red belt is just not good. And so you're going to see, you should see a WASDE that reflects that. But I'm going to guess it's going to be, I just don't think they have the ability to project, and I hope I'm wrong, but I've never seen them project a U.S. crop below 50 million metric tons, ever. They probably have, but it's been a while. So try not to get emotionally involved with this thing because it just frustrates me so much. And anyway, I'll be absolutely amazed if it comes in below 50. That just seems to be their low water mark. They just will not give you an estimate below that. So if they do, great. My number is going to be around that 40 to 42 mark. I think that's probably on pace, assuming we'll get in the weather section of this that we don't get a freeze in the Pacific Northwest next week, which some of the models are starting to project. So we'll get into that next week, or later in this video. But so my guess is they're going to come out with a total wheat number in the 820 region, 825, and then they can come up with their demand number, put it at about 840, 830, and that only draws world carryout up down around 10 from last year, which is not going to be that big a deal in their balance sheet because they inflated it so much last year. And that's my guess, and the market may react to that fairly negatively in the short term, just because the market's expecting something bullish to be presented, and I don't think it will be. So we'll see. I mean, it's not going to last long. The computer's going to trade it for, they'll trade it for a couple of hours, probably the rest of the day. But then, by Wednesday, we're back on the war footing and weather and demand. So it's a very short-lived thing these days. But anyway, I just wanted the expectation that no, I do not expect a bullish report. If we get one, I'll be surprised. It's not impossible, but I'll be surprised. And what we do with it as marketers, that's up to us now. So you may see a recommendation today, this afternoon. We'll see what bids do, see how futures close. But now there's another thing that's bugging me a little bit, and that's the last several reports, and it's not just agriculturally, it's financially as well. There's a lot of government data that comes out that gets front ran. It's like it gets leaked. It gets leaked to specific groups, and they go on a buying tear, especially in like the oil market, and you're seeing these massive moves, and then the report will come out or what have you, and it confirms that bias. And with wheat up, at the moment when I'm recording this, we're up about 15. And so what is causing that? Is it just the weather? It's not. It's being led by Chicago, which is different. KC has been the leader all the way up, so is Minneapolis. And right now we're seeing Chicago lead the way, so that's different. That's definitely a sign of some sort. So, did the report get leaked? Is it going to be bullish wheat because the wheat market is moving the day before? We'll see. We'll see. I'm still skeptical. Still think we're going to have a negative report. So, all right. So moving on to weather. Well, I guess before I go on the weather, there's some things that I wonder what the government will do, USDA will do, because like the Australians, the analysts on the ground there are saying, 10 to 25% less wheat acreage than last year, and the majority of the analysts pushing the higher 20-25% just because of the dynamics of the fertilizer situation and what is giving the incentive to plant. Right now barley is the winner, lentils are in second place, with canola third, wheat is last. So they are pushing that 20-25% mark, and that is a massive amount of acreage to not plant. And what will wasde do with that? I don't know. Last year they started at the high end, above average, and then they held that average and increased it as the year went on. So that's one of the things I'll be watching tomorrow. All right, weather. The weather side of it. Yesterday, the head of meteorology at the University of Washington put on his blog, that's Cliff, he put on his blog yesterday that the Pacific Northwest should not worry about the water situation at the moment, because a massive change of pattern is coming with a couple big lows circulating through from the northwest starting this weekend, with another one the following end of the week. So that'll be the end of next week. So he had snow levels dropping pretty low. He had some pretty big snow totals for Washington Cascades, and some smaller totals for Oregon, but nonetheless sticking snow at some higher levels. And I'm not seeing really agreement with that from a lot of the people he he trained today. So we're seeing a little different shift in the models today. What I am noting is the models were pushing what he was talking about yesterday, and so we're starting to get a big variance in the models, which shows the jet stream is starting to change. We are starting to see a different pattern take shape. So that I think is notable. Whether or not his prediction comes true or not, it could be pretty damaging if it does, because he was talking about some pretty cold air following that front. You know, after the front goes through, the wind quits, then we're going to get some really cold nights, and we're looking at a wheat crop and you know, pretty much every crop we have being 2 to 3 weeks ahead of normal. So we'll see. Jury's still out. I was pretty convinced this morning that that pattern change was coming. Even put that in my text message, and now, you know, midday after looking at some models, I'm not quite convinced that that's going to happen. So we're still trying to break out of this dry hot pattern, and it may be tougher to do than the models want or like. So anyway, stay alert. I'll have some I may have some extra text messages today with there may be some recommendations in there, so let me know if you have questions on those, and we'll go from there. Thanks.